Hey everybody, welcome to Banished. So Banished is quite a hot topic at the moment. It came out on Steam as of the 18th, which was 3 days ago, depending on when this video goes up. Yeah, so it came out on Steam and it's had quite a large response to its release. Banished is a city builder where you take like a small selection of people that have been banished from their town and you have to start a new civilization. You can see in the background here on the loading screen, this is like a small town that I've been building starting from a new, and the game is rather difficult in quite a distinct number of ways, particularly that you can go from having quite a healthy, thriving little town to having everyone dead within quite a short space of time, and that makes it quite fun. But what we'll do is we'll do the usual, look at the options menu and such. So options, quite a lot of stuff going on in the options menu. Things that I like, being able to turn temperature to Celsius so my Scottish brain understands what's going on. We can do things like we can set the autosave timer. That's very important actually. It allows you to set it down as low as 1 minute, which is ridiculous really, because if it's saving every minute, the game can slowly slip away from you, and before you know it, you can't really go back to your last save because it's been ruined by an autosave directly before your whole town explodes. Well, it doesn't actually explode physically, but you'll understand what I mean when we have a look. So 30 minutes, that's good. You can make the interface really tiny if you want, which is better for me, or you can make it really big, which is better for you guys to see. So we'll make it really big, 75. There we go, very nice. We've got other things that we can set. For instance, pause when not focused, slow down when disaster happens. These are all very useful. Clip mouse to window, very good. Capture mouse so I can't click outside the window, very nice. Video settings, quite robust. Some of this stuff I've turned down just for the sake of recording purposes, but otherwise it's pretty cool. Audio, same again, sliders and things, input, you can rebind all your keys, very nice. So, Banished is a game by Shining Rock Software, and it's a one-man operation. The dude made the game, made the art, made everything about it. The whole game's basically been pushed out by this guy, the Shining Rock Software. He basically does everything, and I think that's really awesome that he's made an incredibly polished game just on his own. He's just be like, fuck it, I'm just one guy and I'm going to do it all myself. Anyway, I think we'll go new game. So what have we got? We've got Red Birdsboro. So when you select a new game, you can set your town name. I just random it a couple of times and see what we get. Tonsburnerville, I don't know about that. Montonville, I think we should just call this Weaverton. Weaverton. And you can select map seeds, so if you get a particularly good seed, you can share it with people. On Reddit, the Banished subreddit has like a kind of seed sharing thread that you can go on and get. We'll just click this randomly a few times there, but I like the look of that. It's got a lot of numbers and things. Terrain will set to valleys. You can also select mountains. Valleys just seems to make more sense for building stuff. Terrain size large. Climate fair. You can set it to harsh if you want a challenge. You can set it to mild if you want it to be easy. I like fair, it's just kind of in the middle. Disasters on. Yes, we want disasters. We want the kind of real deal. And I think starting conditions, easy, medium or hard. So easy is basically like is it 6 families. You get better starting amounts of stocks and things. Medium seems to make more sense. 5 families, it's got all your stuff. And then basically hard is like you get 4 families, a small amount of shit, and no seeds for farming. I'll go medium because it seems to be better. So we'll go start, and it'll load up our town, and we'll go through the kind of the basic stuff first, and then we'll look at the game. So firstly, I want to say that I'm really enjoying the game. The game's very excellent. In a lot of city building games, it's quite easy to create quite a large civilization of very advanced technologies and things, and it never really gives you much in the way of challenge. So we press space to pause the game. I'm going to zoom out a little. I'm also going to press page down to get a more... You can press page up and page down, and that gives you a kind of better perspective. I like to have a top-down perspective because oftentimes when we go quite in here, so if you plant down your thing to be built here, for instance, you may be obscured by trees and stuff. So if you go kind of top-down, it makes it a bit easier to do. So the first things that I like to do when we enter a game, we go down here, we click on the tools and reports. I like to bring up this guy here, which shows our general stats. Like for instance, it shows the town name, it shows our people, so we've got 10 adults, 12 children, no students, so we're all very stupid. It gives you your seasons, it gives you your temperatures and weather, it gives you what you've got and how happy your guys are, how healthy your citizens are, and how much alcohol you have, which is very important for me. I also like to bring up the map and just set that just directly below. I don't know why, it just makes me feel like it's more gamey to have a map. Oh, hello, I forgot you can actually click physically on there. That's another reason that you can do that. I've just worked that out. You can click very quickly. There's a lake, no use for us. Well, maybe it would be good for fishing. Is there a lake directly next to our little town area here? Oh, there is. That may be good for fishing and stuff. but we don't want to put a trade post there because we want it on the river so we can get people coming in. So that's good, we've got our map set up. And the last thing I want to pick up here is, where is it? I've forgotten which one it was. Was it this one? Oh yeah, it's this one. Okay, so this is basically our jobs, or what we can apply to different people. And when you start with a stockpile full of stuff, you get a barn with things, and you get a bunch of people, and that's it. The tutorial kind of gives you some information about what you should do, but I've discovered some particular things that you should do. So what you want to do is, you want to have a think and think, how can I make this little civilization thrive? What do they need for success? What do people need? People need food. And I hit my mic. They need food, they need shelter, warmth, kind of go the same thing, and they need stuff to do. Okay, so what we can do is, with the buttons down here, they've got a different range of things. So the first one's our simulation speed. I usually have that either set to 2 or 10. Kind of like, no half measures, just 2 or 10, let's get it done. So tools and reports, that kind of shows you all the different things we can do, camera locations, pathways. Really, we brought up the main pointers here, which is basically professions, map, and our general statistics. Other things here like show limits placed on resource production. You don't really need that, because if you click on the particular things, you can actually set the limits within the pane that comes up. The next one we have is basically our building stuff. So this is our houses. We don't want to build anything of that yet. What I want to do is firstly establish some means for us to get food. We'll get to that in a second. So we can build roads, we can build things like markets and storage areas, we can build things like wells and schools and town halls and hospitals. Food production, very important. This is what we're going to do firstly. We're going to actually make a gatherer's hut. So with food, you would think, well, maybe farming would be good, but realistically, no, it wouldn't, because if you're a new civilization, what do you need? You need to get food quickly. How long does it take to farm stuff? A long fucking time. If you've ever farmed things before, you'll know, you'll understand that you can't just throw seeds at the ground and expect like things to just throw back out at you. No. We need to go and we need to take advantage of all this wonderful greenery and glorious, luscious landscape, and possibly set up some fishing area down here. We don't want to fish over here because there'll probably be limited resources within a kind of sectioned off lake. That would kind of make sense physically and realistically. What you want to do is probably get something over here so we can fish in this river. There will be fish coming through that river. We can do that fairly easily. But first I want to put a gatherer's hut. So I like to zoom out for this as well. So we basically get our hut here. Press R on the keyboard to rotate the thing for positioning. You want to kind of select an area where the gatherer's going to have like kind of best approach to resources. So where they're going to have a lot of resources, I think a gatherer's hut over here would be good. Reason for that is we're going to be needing these trees and stuff for resources as well, but a gatherer's hut will use the surroundings for stuff, and you don't really want to put too much there. So what? Maybe actually stick this guy here. And also what we will need is we get resource kind of buildings as well. We will probably need a forester's lodge, herbalist, and possibly a do we have hunting cabin. So what do we put here? We put down the gatherer's thing over here. There it is there. So that's one of my main contentions with the game, or one thing that I don't particularly like, is once I've placed that there, I know it's there, but the visual marker, because of the trees, is so hard to find, so sometimes I'll end up clicking around to find out where we are. They'll build that eventually and it'll be obvious because it'll be a building that's between trees. So what we want to do is we want to place down some... So I guess we would want to put a forester lodge around here somewhere. So what real time are we on? So we're on 1. We'll just start the game, we'll get them all up to doing stuff. Put it up to speed 10, fuck it. Get them busy, get them up here to build that. They'll come up here and they'll start doing their own thing. So one thing that I've learned about professions is they'll go and they'll do their thing. They'll go and like navigate around and start collecting stuff and whatnot. We will need to put some houses down as well for shelter for our guys. I'll put it down to speed 2. Are they working on that? 7% complete, not exactly ideal, but they'll start working on that, and that gives them a nice area for the gatherer. So I guess we can put one into gatherer. So we'll give that profession there. We'll also, oh, I forgot I've not put any builders in. Dearie me, I'm getting carried away. So what you should do initially is when you put a building down, you need to select some builders for that. Generally though, you want a couple of labourers set by as well. You don't want to give them professions. You want... If you think about a society, how it works, there's always going to be people that have professions. There's going to be people that kind of like... They're not skilled. They're just labourers. They're just people that kind of do the jobs that no one else can do. And you want some of them in your village or your town. You want them to be doing stuff. What I can do down here is probably make a little settlement. So we'll grab some Roads, I don't want to use stone just yet, so I'm going to do a little dirt road over here like that. That kind of gives us a nice platform to start from. Where am I going to have my living quarters? I guess we could make a little road down here. So realistically what we want is kind of like 5 houses for our 5 families. Can I get another one in there? I certainly can. Stick another one there, stick another one there, and we'll stick one there. That's good. The 5 houses will do the job nicely. We have the gatherer's hut. Do we have a gatherer? Did I set one? We did. Okay, so we can get a... I'll probably put another one in gathering as well. They'll do their work around here, and they'll basically... You can set with the next complex part of the game. There's so much to... So that's one of the things about the game is there's so much to discuss that I thought... I can't really push a video out day one because I just simply hadn't played the game enough to understand what was going on. So with the gatherers up, we can come over here. You can set your number of dudes that you want to work there. You can also set your food limit, and I want to set that relatively high, probably an extra 1,000 on there. And what they'll do is they'll continually gather food all year round. They'll just work here and they'll gather food within this ring. And hopefully, what they'll do is they'll use the kind of trees and resources and such to gather stuff, which is good. But we need to be careful that we might run out of things like wood, firewood, stone. So we're going to have to work on that also. But what I want to do is give them a road to travel to and from. So let's have a look here. This is another part of the game that I struggle with somewhat. So we'll do a little bit like that. Maybe... Yeah, I like it down like that. We'll do one like this. Damn you game, you've made me do a thing out of place. I get angry. I get angered when things are not symmetrical. Anyway, that gives them a nice little pathway to kind of walk down. The guys will come and they'll build their stuffs. Now, what do we need to do next? I'm going to pause the game while we think. One thing that I will say about Banished is be very, very, very liberal with your space button use. So space button, the space button. Spacebar, I mean, but the space button also sounds cool that you just press it and you end up in space. The spacebar will pause the game, so in your timer it'll pause it, and it'll give you an opportunity to think about things, which is probably better suited for a video situation like this. So we've kind of started progress, we've got our houses down, these guys will need a house to live in, they're all getting a house symbol above them because they kind of want somewhere to live, understandable. I'll probably stick another one in building. In fact, I'll put another one in building. I'll put 6 people in building, keep 2 labourers, and that'll mean that the houses will get built relatively quickly. Now what we want to do over here is they will run out of stuff, so we're in spring at the moment. It will become summer. I mean, of course it'll become summer, but it'll become winter quicker than you really expect it to. So we need to make sure we're making provisions for that. We've got a couple of guys making the pathways. This is good. What I want to do is put a woodcutter. I think woodcutter is under tree. Yes, woodcutter. Okay, so we're going to R, woodcutter. Yeah, we'll stick it there. Reason being is they can come over here, take the wood stock, put it in the woodcutter, and cut the shit out of it. That's what we want to see. Want to see some action around here. Want to see people doing stuff. Right, so now that we've got the woodcutter down, they're starting to put the foundations down for the housing, which is good. It will keep them happy. We've got the gatherer working away over here. Let's see how much food they've... So, they're actually doing okay for food. We've got 1,548 food things. I don't know what they signify, individual pieces of food, probably. What we want to do is put a hunter's area down as well, so they can take advantage of, like, all the good stuff, like this fucking thing that's just standing about. This deer, ballsy as, it's just like, I'm a deer and I don't care, I'm just there to make deer stuff, I'm there for your needs. So what we're going to do, we're going to make a deer hunting area. Hunting cabin. So we'll have a look again at the overall general circular area thing here. And probably not there, actually. I kind of want it away from the town, if I'm being honest. Can I just slap it down here? Probably I can, actually. Or maybe here. Yeah, I like it there. Wait, did that place? I think it did. What were you running low on? Stone. Running low on stone. So if we need materials, we can click on this little one here, removal. And we can click the stone button, and we've got stone quite throughout the area, so I'm just going to go like that. Guys, people will go and they'll pick up the stone, whether it's the labourers or the builders. People will go and pick up that stone, it will count towards our stockpiles. We're running worryingly low, so I'm going to pause it. What we need to do over here again is build a foresting lodge, forester's lodge. So wait, what have we got? We've got a gatherer's hut, we've got a hunting cabin, The reason I'm building these out the way is that when you start building a town, one of the things you'll notice quite quickly is you'll clear out a lot of area. So you'll remove like the like basically how well they can work. So if you've got a forester's lodge, obviously you're going to need in this circle trees for them to cut down. I don't want to build any like buildings in here. I just want this to be all for our foresting and gathering areas. All our buildings and stuff can go down here. It just makes sense to do it that way, because if I start building up here, they'll cut down the trees to build stuff. We'll run out of trees to be used for cutting down and stuff. You know what I mean. The forester will also replant trees. So once these buildings are built, we can then assign people. So we've got 2 gatherers. They'll be doing some good work. I'm going to actually probably increase their workload to 7,000. We're getting to late spring. We'll need to make sure we've got enough food stockpiled. The forester will help us get trees. I'll probably want to cut down a few trees down this way. So we'll go this one here. We'll click on the tree button. And where should we cut down some trees? Probably this area here. Yeah, that'll give us enough wood for the time being. So when they finish this, we can assign a woodcutter. What we also want to think about is the health of our people. So early on, one of the best early game ways to keep your people healthy would be to build a herbalist. So as it says, let's see, herbalist, what do you say? Used to gather herbs and provide simple health and healing for citizens. That actually is really useful. We've got no one working at the woodcutter. I'll put 1 person, 1 job. What I quite like about the professions pane being up at all times is you can juggle about professions. You don't need people to do one thing for all their life. There are certain things that you can say, well, you can woodcut for today, and then I'll take you off and I'll put you onto something else. All very useful. So let's see how we're getting on with stuff up here. 3%. 3%. So they're doing stuff. They're cutting down the trees. That'll give us a bit of wood. Hopefully the woodcutter should be cutting stuff. Cutting stuff. When we get some wood down here, essentially what that will mean is that they'll cut the wood into firewood. The firewood we can use for heating our houses. Though in spring you shouldn't be cold. Why are you cold? What have you got? What have you got? Wow. So, you're 14, you're 16, and you have a child that is 8. I care not to do the math. Unless they've just shoved... Unless what's happening here is the parents are a bunch of randy bastards, and they're like, well, let's shove all the kids in one house, and we can get down and dirty in our own houses. Indeed. Bastards. Anyway, we kind of just have to wait for this to happen. What I'll do is I'll probably increase speed. While we're doing that, we will be looking to build a fishing area over here. I'll just pause it quickly while we do that. Now, one thing I haven't really found to be too much of a trouble is resource management. Early on anyway, your guys are fairly self-proficient, so, or self-sufficient, very proficient at being self-sufficient, I don't know, words, things. So what they'll do is they'll, if you've got labourers, also the music's fantastic, just to mention. The labourers will go about and they'll do things like odd jobs, like collecting materials, carrying stuff from one end to the other, taking stores to like here. They'll take stores from, like, say, the gatherer's hut down to here. Maybe worthwhile putting a house up here as well, just so there's like a kind of easy area for them to just like basically live in, jump out. They're right next to their work. That's what they want to see. I don't think they can actually stay in the cabin, as far as I'm aware. But yeah, your guys are self-sufficient. They go and they do stuff. But what we need to do is build a fishing area over here. You can be closed. Fish is quite a good resource for food. It doesn't really involve too much like investment from your end. Is that worth putting it there? I don't know how effective that would be. I like it over here because it's probably like the largest kind of surface area for me to fish in. But then we'll need to build a bridge so they can get there, which isn't really ideal. I'm trying to think of what would be the best way to like... Well, what we'll do, I think we'll maybe do a test, because I've never really thought about using a lake for fishing before. I thought river would be the best thing to use. Maybe if we stick one here, we'll see how productive he is, the old fishing place. That'll be our test for today's video. We'll see what happens when we do that. But anyway, looks like we're clearing out a bit of area here where our town's looking like it's thriving. The woodcutter should be doing stuff. We're low on wood. Yeah, thought so. We really need to get the foresters in the hunting cabinet. So what are we lacking, really? So they're just taking down the trees at the moment. What are we lacking over here? So you can see what you've got for your process to build the thing. So we've removed the trees, that's fine. We need more logs, we need more stone, we need more building stuff. One thing I've found that's quite useful early on is a blacksmith for weaponry. So what are you doing? There's no wood left. We really need to get that woodcutter's place down. Woodcutter's place. The forester's lodge, I mean. They'll get there eventually. You getting worked on? You are getting worked on. Good. So things are going ahead. Things are being done. Slowly but surely. We're not really in a position to be building, like, say... That's okay, actually. They're taking wood in there and they're getting it stored. So we've got a bit of firewood. That's okay. The food situation's kind of scary. Is that food? No, logs. Early on, it is quite a... It's like a race, you would say, to get everything kind of sorted early on. I mean, you could put down, for instance, crops to plant to get food, but generally they're never finished before winter and they just die anyway. I've never once, in like the 5 games or so I've played, had like a farmland down that's been used before winter came up, so we're going to avoid that for the time being. This is getting done at least. So they're cutting down trees because they need wood. I actually think I sent them down here to do that, did I not? You bloody rascals. Ah, okay, hunting cabin has been set up, so we're going to set some hunters up, probably 2. Because they'll hunt for food. Hunting cabins and the gatherer's hut are really good for replenishing food. So health's kind of going down a little. We need a herbalist. Where's my thing? Where's my professions pane? Not that one. Oh, it's down here. Okay, there we go. I closed that myself, actually. That was my fault. But as you see, city building requires a little bit of strategy. Requires a little bit of care. Have we not got enough resources for this? No, we do. I think that'll be fine, actually. I think this will actually work really well for a fishing area. It's got quite a lot of surface area in the kind of crescent or half circle that we've got in the water. That should be good. Good for business. We can build a path down here. Now, this is part of the game that I really enjoy. When we get into autumn and winter, when it snows and gets frosty, the game looks fantastic. Oh, we need a forester over here. Thankfully, we can set 2, and then it leaves us with 1 labourer. What I like about the game is it farts kids out. Like, people just seem to be shitting kids out for days. There's always children about. Oh, we need a fishing person as well. Dearie me. They built that really quickly. That was good work, townspeople. I might take 1 off of forester then and put it on to fishermen, because they'll catch a fair few fish. They'll do the job nicely. Now, what am I looking for? What do I need? So have I built a herbalist yet? Gatherers, hut, hunters, forester. I think we should put a herbalist down here as well, and that'll kind of round out the ensemble of stuff. You may think they'll compete against one another, but they'll actually use the resources around quite sparingly, because they don't really need that much. I can actually put one right here. That's splendid. Jolly good. And it also keeps it nicely sectioned off, so I know what's where and what's where. I think it's maybe me being a bit anal about things, but I'm like, I need to have like my residential area in one place, my working area in the other, and it just makes sense for me that way. It's the same way that towns are kind of built. They build towns in particular ways because it's just easier to do it that way. Like, you don't see them building houses between like industrial sites and things like that because, well, it's not a residential area, is it? It's good to keep everything in the one place. It's also smarter for production reasons, because if you've got everything in the one place, then it's just like all the stuff can go here for them to build. I don't know if it does that in this game, but it just makes sense in my head to do it that way. So health is becoming quite a problem. It may be that we're lacking food. We'll ramp that up a little, maybe put another fisherman down. Where's fisherman? There we go. We'll put another one there. And I should probably put a path here so they're not hurting their little footsies when they're walking down. So we'll do one of those. Oh, hello. We'll do one of those there. And then like that. There we go. Just gives them a little bit of walking to do. Very nice. Get to your jobs, ladies and gentlemen. So when we get this built, this should hopefully help with stuff. So what we're lacking? We're lacking wood. Wood and firewood. That's bad. That's bad for business. We should probably get some people cutting some wood down, some trees. I don't want to cut any of that stuff down because that's like my main area. We'll do it down here. Lads, cut all this shit down. Maybe that much, and then we'll do all of this. Gives them something to do in the winter. We should also maybe think about a tailor, so they can make clothing with... Basically, our hunters will go and they'll hunt for stuff, but as a byproduct of hunting, they'll get resources like leather or materials to build clothing. To build clothing. This is quite a nice area for like a big quarry or a mine or something. I quite like that actually. Maybe a mine over here. Very interesting. So they'll do some wood cutting. Have I lost anyone yet? Oh, my people pane. My people pane's gone. There we go. So I think we're still okay. We've not really lost anyone yet. If we want to look at stuff, so we can go look at the event log. Yeah, nobody's died yet. Everyone's fine. Working in as a labourer. Very good. So yeah, no one's died yet. We just need to keep an eye on the health of the citizens, because that's going to be a problem, especially over winter. When it comes back around to like spring, we'll be fine. Oh, hello. What was that? What have we lost? Reserves of logs are low. Well, we've got people cutting down trees down here, I hope. Oh yeah, we do. Good. Good, you're doing your job. So I'll maybe turn the speed down a little. So that kind of gives you a general gist of the game. The game has disasters and various other nasties that can appear to hamper your progress, shall we say. There'll be like things like, I don't know, disease, or... Oh, we've run out of food. Fishermen, are you fishing properly? Do you catch anything? Let's go and look at the storage area, and we'll see if we've actually caught any fish. Mushrooms. See, I don't think it catches anything on a lake. Oh! Oh, they caught fish! Okay. They actually did catch fish. You're gonna take that fish to the storage area? Yeah, we caught fish. Okay. Wasn't really a lot though. 20 fish. It'll probably do. We're low on food. Logs. Food doesn't seem to be too much of a problem. So herbalist is up. Okay, we can put a herbalist down. There we go. We've got no general labourers though, so I'll take one off of building so I can have just at least one general labourer. It's probably ideal to... See, our food production should be good. I don't know why they're not doing the job. Maybe... Oh, okay, the food's going up now. It's starting to climb substantially. That's okay. Good. We're getting stuff done. So, okay, we're back to spring. Nobody died as far as I know. Let me have a wee quick look at the event log. Is it this one? Yes. Yeah, no one died. Good. I'm happy. So we survived a winter. No one died. We've got our bustling little town. I see you're getting stuff. So herb limit ramp you up like a bad man. Log limit up substantially. Your food limit's good. Your food limit's good. Nice. Okay, so they should be doing their jobs. What I want to do now, now that we can, is probably put down a bit of farming. We've got some seeds that we can use. We start off, I think, with wheat and something else, dependent upon what the game randomly gives you, I think. Where is it? Oh, it's this one, isn't it? So, crop field. Where would I want to put the crop field? Maybe down here. What they'll do... Yeah, that's probably good, actually, because they'll remove those rocks as well. And we can just kind of sit and watch them do that, and they'll plant some stuff. So if I click on here... oh yeah, they need to remove stuff first. And then we can get down to business. So what else do we need, really? Our storage area is kind of ramping up a little. We're getting stuff down. They're doing stuff. Our food seems to be resolving. Probably because they... Oh, so we've got some hide coats. We've got some venison. I'll maybe put another fishing thing out in the river here and see if it increases fish production, because fish is a really good resource for having a munch. Let's see, so we'll rotate that a couple of times. So, if you can't tell, I really enjoy the game. I'm thoroughly enjoying it, actually. This is actually a really nice area for a fishing bit. I like it a lot. Very nice, very good. It may cause problems. Can we put a pathway through there? A path through here? Okay, maybe not then. It's a bit of a roundabout way for doing it. I might actually... Oh no, okay, you've already started on it. I like that area though, that should be a good fishing area. We can probably put our trade post up here. So we're getting into late spring, things are happening. The town is coming together nicely. Maybe come down here like that. Maybe make it a bit more symmetrical. There we go. That's good. Okay, so it looks a bit blocky, but we can use all this area for farming and stuff. And it's nice to have another fishing area. Hopefully we'll be getting a couple more people in. I should probably remove these rocks. So yes, so I'm enjoying the game tremendously. The game's fantastic. I have few complaints. I mean, primarily one of the complaints is that some of the time it feels like it's quite difficult to see what you're doing. I'll probably slow it down actually so I can think as well. That's another thing when you're playing the game. Sometimes it can either go too fast or too quickly. Is that mushrooms? No, it's you're foraging for stuff. Good people, good stuff, good work, solid play. I've only got one herbalist. Yeah, I do. How many gatherers have I got? I'll probably put another in gathering. I'll put another 2 in gathering. Fuck it, I've got enough people standing by. So as you'll see, health of citizens has gone up again because we've got enough stuff down. We've reached our maximum for. I'm going to put that all the way up to 1,000. Reason being is we're going to stockpile for the winter. We'll need that stuff ready. So the game's tremendously good, especially for a product or a game made by one individual. It just feels incredibly polished. Of course, when you come quite in close, some of the buildings and the textures and things look a bit kind of, but that just kind of adds, I don't know, to the charm of it. I think it's a charming looking game, especially when it snows. The snow makes me rather happy. I'm just having a little skirt around the area looking for things that we can do. So I like my little foresters club down here, the hunters and things, stuff. So your food limit's quite high. They should hopefully. So food's been diminished greatly over time. It's kind of a sad state of affairs. So we'll ramp up the speed and we'll make sure we're doing stuff. So have we got no builders? We should do. Okay, so remove one of there because there's only 4 building jobs available at the moment, so there's no need to have 5 of them doing them, contending for jobs. We'll probably put another forester in. And should we do another herbalist? No, we'll do another fisherman. Try and get that fishing up to its maximum. I don't know if they're doing a particularly good job with this fishing area over here. I don't know if that actually does. Well, they seem to be pulling in a few fish. We're going to have this one down as well. That should hopefully be fine. Now, with the building panes, you can like basically assign how many people you want to be working this particular job. So you can put this down to 2 of 2 total, but we've got 3 working fish. So then the other one can come over here. We'll do 1 working fish. And we'll do 1 over there, so I'll put that down to 2. So that basically means that this fishing dock will have 2 of 2 workers. This one will have 1 of 1 when it's finished. And it just means that they're not kind of getting confused about who works where. They know exactly where they stand. You working fish over here, you 2 working fish over here. The fuck is that? Oh, it's deer. Why are they in the water? Can we not fish for deer? Is that not something we can do? You guys are getting sacked if you don't get your act together. But yes, so the game's really enjoyable. I enjoy the realism. I'm going to pause it so I can speak. So a lot of city builders, they have that kind of Sim City element where you throw down a couple of things and after half an hour you have like fucking laser guns and aliens are coming to invade and all kinds of weird shit. That is cool and all if you want that kind of thing, but this is more like an actual struggle to survive. Like, like there's no, like, see the first couple of times you play it, if you don't follow any particular advice or if you want to do it your own way, you will probably kill your guys by about the 2nd or 3rd winter. It just tends to be the way it happens. It just goes down that way. You may realise your town has, like, say, 40 people, and you'll be looking at it and you'll say 40, and then it'll go 41, then you'll be like, why, I've only got 38, why 35? Then you'll be like, everyone's dying. What are you? What? Wait. Ah. So wait, what happened? How did I get so many people? I've got a lot of labourers. Did I? Oh, I know what happened. Because my fishing thing wasn't finished yet, I had like... What had happened is, basically, I had unassigned the builders from this area. What does this one do again? Oh, of course, I removed the total number of workers. It's just this one we need to do. Silly Tom, not thinking properly. So we want a 3 total, but we want 2 working here, 1 working here. That's what we should have done the first time. We've got too many builders now, though. How are we doing for stocks? We're pretty good for stocks. We're doing okay. We're doing okay. I'll probably want to make another road. How does this come down here? Okay, so it can't go up that way. Is there any way for me to get round here? So, no, that's like the quickest way for me to do it, is it? Yeah, so there's no real point in me doing it that way. We can also do things that we can do tunnels, which are basically what we would have probably put through here, had we thought about it. Why is it not letting me do that there? Maybe I need to start in here. Aha! Maybe. Oh, I've actually set that down. I should cancel that immediately. Yeah. I don't want to be building tunnels yet. So yeah, I'm enjoying the game tremendously. It's an awful fun game. I've realised this has gone on for some time now. It gives you like a kind of a brief idea of what happens. I would love to show you some later game stuff, but sadly all my later game stuff has ended in absolute misery. Why are you down here fishing? You should not be fishing down here. You've been told. What I would say is that if you enjoy particularly challenging deal with some kind of strategy in game, if you enjoy the kind of Age of Empires but without the militarization or the combat, if you enjoy that kind of vibe, I would say certainly check out Banished. It currently costs, I believe, £14.99 or £20, and it's on sale on Steam at the moment, and it's made by one guy, and it's tremendously polished and really fun. And if you enjoy strategy, if you enjoy the kind of the approach of that this is how humans work, that this is like a struggle to survive, there will be disaster and death and unhappiness, and I've got 7 labourers and no one doing anything. What are you bastards up to? Dearie me, slackers. We'll put 1 in hunting, 2 in foresting. What else have we got? We've not got really much else going on, have we? I should be building more stuff. Well, I'm going to stop the video here so I can upload it to YouTube for you guys to watch, but I would say certainly check the game out. I really enjoy it. It's not going to be for everyone. If you want an easier time or you want less strategy involved in a city builder, then certainly you've got your options like SimCity, but this being an indie game made by one guy, it has all the hallmarks of something that could be great, and it's only just out. Who knows what will come down in the future, whether it be updates or DLC. Hopefully it will be free, but you know what I mean, there's plenty of room for this game to grow, and it's already a really great product at the moment. I would say certainly check it out.